Hello, everyone. Let's kick off our event today. And this is Roy. I'm from Alibaba. I'm the business development director from Alibaba Health. And I'm also the host of this event today. Thank you for all you guys coming. And Alibaba Health, together with the Jack Ma Foundations and Alibaba Foundation, is greatly honored to organize today's event between South Africa Department of Health and the Zhejiang Province People's Hospital as part of our global media exchange for combat COVID-19 program. The GMCC program aims to facilitate online communication and collaboration across the borders, as well as to provide necessary communication channel to share practical experience about fighting COVID-19 for the frontline medical teams around the world. And now, today, we are very happy to have the government officials from the South Africa and the other medical experts attend today. Now, it's my honor to welcome the Honorable Dr. S. Zugu, Project Leader, Sectoral Response to COVID-19, to give her opening speech. Thank you, Dr. Zugu.
Thank you very much to Michael, and thank you to the team from the Chinese government for allowing us to share the experiences that they have had. And at this point, I would also like to thank our president, the President of South Africa, the Honorable His Excellency President Cyril Ramaphosa, for his leadership and the strong cooperation that he has with the Jack Ma Foundation, and they have assisted us and supported us in the response. And thank you to Dr. Huang Dongsbeng, Chairman of the Zhejiang Provincial People's Hospital, and thank you to the Alibaba Health, the Jack Ma Foundation, and for arranging today's discussion. We are in a difficult situation in the country, and the DG of the country in health, Dr. Anban Pillay, might join us this afternoon, or he might not join. But through his leadership, we have invited 9 provinces. We will be having doctors, hospital managers, nursing managers, clinical managers in different fields that are coming together, that will be happy to receive presentations from China so that they can learn from your valuable experience. And also, today's discussion represents just one of many of the close collaborations that we have, and we are hoping that we are going to have frequent discussions, and we have a shoulder to lean on each time we face challenges in our response to COVID-19. And we have invited many managers at hospital level because that is where most of the work happens. We are hopeful that the exchange that we are going to have today will provide very useful and practical information for our hospitals in South Africa, that we can learn from you and also adapt them to our situation. And I do believe that it was Jack Ma that had said, we can't beat this virus unless we share our resources, we share our know-how, and share our hard-earned lessons. And at this point, we are hopeful that we are going to have this interaction. And today, more than ever, I think we need more global cooperation to solve global challenges. This is the time that we have to work together, learn from each other so that we can defeat COVID-19. We should also embrace the new technologies in this fight, and I'm glad that the Jack Ma Foundation and Alibaba Foundation have offered this new platform for the world to connect and share information. Last week, I shared with the government officials from Ethiopia a webinar that was very interactive. And even though I could not connect, but the video was shared with me. And I saw that this was an opportunity for government officials in South Africa to also take this opportunity and learn. And we're hoping that going forward, we will be happy with this interaction. Finally, I hope that this session marks the beginning and not the end of our discussion. There are many points that we would like to discuss. There are many areas that we would like to collaborate on. And let me recommend that our parties continue their conversations and exchanges on the global Medi exchange platform that has been established. Thank you very much for this opportunity, and we are hoping for fruitful discussions this afternoon. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Suga. I think after this discussion, I think a lot of the experience will be shared from the China expert to the South Africa. And I think today we also invite a multidisciplinary team to share their experience in managing coronavirus. The team is from one of the top hospitals in China, which is the Zhejiang Province People's Hospital. And first of all, please allow me to introduce our participant to all of you. Professor Huang is the chairman of the Zhejiang Province People's Hospital, who also is the co-op of this event. And Professor He Qiang, Vice President of Zhejiang Province People's Hospital. Dr. Zhang Jun, the Director of the Medical Administration Department. Ms. Chen Xiaomi, Director of the Nursing Department. Mr. Wang Yaxia, Director of Hospital Infection Management Department. Professor Wang Zhifei, Director of the International Collaboration Department. Professor Gong Xiangyang, Director of Radiology Department. Professor Yang Xianghong, Deputy Director of ICU. Professor Li Yaqing, Deputy Director of Respiratory Medicine Department. Dr. Yang Danhong, Deputy Director of Hospital Infection Management Department. Dr. Xia Jun, Deputy Director of Clinical Laboratory Center. Dr. Liao Zhenruan, Doctor of the Mental Health Department. I think most of them has a lot of experience how to treat with the disease, how to treat with the patient. I think after this discussion, you can raise your questions afterwards. So I think next, I'd like to invite the chairman of the Zhejiang Province People's Hospital, Professor Huang, to deliver her opening remarks. Yes, welcome.
Okay. Thank you. Hello to our colleague from South Africa. As I know that there are 6 hours time difference. So in Hangzhou, it's 8 o'clock in the evening. So I would like to say good evening to you. I'm Huang Dongsheng, the General Surgeon, Chairman of Zhejiang Provincial People's Hospital. I'm so glad to sit down here together with my team to share with you our experience in the prevention, control, diagnosis, and treatment of COVID-19. The outbreak of COVID-19 is a global challenge and a disaster. China encountered it a few months ago and managed to successfully control it within a relative time through the most comprehensive, determined, and thorough prevention and control measures. Now the focus has partly shifted to the resume work and production in an orderly manner. However, the pandemic is still a huge challenge to the world, including the people in South Africa. We are very willing to share our experience and cooperate with all the other countries in the fight against COVID-19. Zhejiang Provincial People's Hospital is the largest general hospital in the province that directly reported to the Zhejiang Provincial Health Commission. We have over 2,800 beds, close to 2.5 million annual outpatient and emergency visitors, and more than 87,000 annual surgeries. Since the start of the outbreak, our fever clinic between January and March has received 7,680 visits in total, among which 106 are suspected cases. Out of the suspected cases, 5 are eventually confirmed. so far we have sent out altogether 205 medical staff to support Wuhan. They work at the front line in the mobile cabin hospital and also isolation ward in designated hospital there, and at the same time provide training to improve the overall medical capabilities. During the outbreak, our mobile cabin medical team received a total of 1,682 confirmed patients, among which 1,641 were recovered and discharged. 41 were transferred to the designated hospital. There was 0 deaths under the care of our mobile cabin medical team. At the same time, our team is working at the isolation ward from seriously ill patients. Received a total of 409 patients with serious symptoms, among which 373 were recovered and discharged. 12, unfortunately, lost their lives, and the rest of it were taken over by the other medical teams after their condition stabilized. We are proud to say that we have achieved 0 infection within the medical team in the 2 kinds of the teams mentioned above. All the teams received the treated patient in Wuhan. Love prevails in time of the outbreak, and people around the world form one community of shared future. We would love to join hands with people from the South Africa to work together in the face of challenge. We would love to cooperate with the international community to protect the safety and health of public. I firmly believe that we will win the war against the highly contagious disease. Stay strong, South Africa. Thank you. Then, next, I will, together with my colleague, are going to share with you our experience in the prevention, control, diagnosis, treatment of COVID-19, how to protect our staff, and how to streamline the management of the hospital in response to the outbreak. I will talk about our efforts in managerial preparation, resource allocation, and facility improvement during the outbreak. Professor He Qiang, just introduced before, our vice president worked for 2 months, more than 2 months, at the Wuhan Mobile Cabin Hospital, while Professor Yang Xianghong, our ICU deputy director, worked for 2 months at the designated hospital for the care of COVID-19 patients in Wuhan. Therefore, I would like to later invite them to share with you their experience in the diagnosis and treatment of COVID-19 patients in the mobile cabin hospital and isolation ward for seriously ill patients in the designated hospital. Professor Zhang Jun, director of the medical administration department, will focus on the staffing, system development, and clinical guideline revision during the outbreak. Professor Chen Xiaoming, director of the nursing department, will mostly talk about hospital infection control, personal protection, and inpatient management. Before that, I would like to first of all provide you with an overview of the prevention and control of COVID-19 at our hospital. Show the slide, please. Okay, the topic is highlight of treatment and prevention and control of COVID-19 in my hospital. It means Zhejiang Provincial People's Hospital. The province, the Zhejiang province, located in the east part of China and close to Shanghai, and actually is one of the most developed the province in China. And just mentioned the Alibaba Foundation, Alibaba headquarters. Alibaba is located in the Hangzhou, the capital of the Zhejiang province. The population of Zhejiang province is 58.5 million. The graph below shows the COVID-19 number by April the 16th, the last day. the currently I mean suspected case 0, 21 confirmed cases currently, cumulatively confirmed cases 1,268, cumulated recovered case 1,246. So far, the cumulated deaths only 1 case. And this diagram shows us the trend of new confirmed cases in Zhejiang province. On the January 21st, first confirmed the COVID-19 is the diagnosed in Zhejiang province. Since February 22nd, there is no any new confirmed local cases. By April the 14th, the 23 new confirmed cases are imported from the other country, from the United States, European countries, and Russia. And it was quite terrifying at the beginning as well, including experts in infectious disease knew little about the disease. It is highly contagious, however, different from the SARS and MERS. In the incubation period, even can spread through the asymptomatic carrier. After several months endeavor against the outbreak, we learn by heart that strong measures at the government level to control transmission source and break transmission route are indeed a paramount important. It means that for the hospital, we can do something, also can play an important role to treat the patient and diagnose the patient. But we can do very few on the, broke the transmission routes and control transmission source. The picture shows that the gathering restrictions, geographic controls, the lockdown, shutdown, and the community controls. The in middle picture shows the railway station at Wuhan during the period of the lockdown. There's nobody in this so big square. And for the closure, the public entertainment facilities, wear mask and wash hand also is very important. For the wear mask, I would like to say something. We think that wearing mask is very helpful in terms of prevention and control. However, unfortunately, in the Western country, it's hard to ask the whole population to wear mask due to culture and habitual reason. Well, wearing mask can possibly be one of the reasons why Asian countries like China, Japan, South Korea, Singapore have better control in the outbreak. So I suggest the people of America, the colleague of the South Africa can persuade your people to wear mask. Wearing mask is not high tech, but actually it's very, very useful. And we should keep the social distancing, try to stay home, work from home, and even during the dining time, keep the distance. And this way we can see the set up the designated hospital for COVID-19 is very important. These show that the government have designated a certain hospital to care for the confirmed cases. The CDC will immediately engage upon the detection of the patient suspected cases to transfer them to designated place for isolation, observation, and treatment. This mechanism has proven to highly effective in the fight against the outbreak. Patients with serious symptoms in Zhejiang province receive care at the first affiliate hospital of Zhejiang University School of Medicine. For the patient with mild symptoms receive care at the Xixi Hospital. It is a very special infection hospital established after the outbreak of SARS in 2003. And the social, the restriction also very crucial in the prevention and control COVID-19. It's so-called 3 concentration principle. is including concentration of the patients, concentration of resources, and the concentration of the treatment. And all confirmed patients are transferred to the designated hospital for treatment by negative pressure ambulance to avoid cross-infection during the transfer. I think concentration of patient, concentration of resource, concentration treatment can improve the survival rate, dramatic decrease the mortality, because in the same hospital, the medical staff can have the rich experience, and we own the rich the equipment, and also can protect the I think contagious and spread the transfer path or in the local hospital. I would like to say something about the health code. Health code also I think is very important. Why I would like to emphasize is that the health code, empowered by the information technology, has played a crucial role in the screening of suspected cases and the control of the outbreak. Otherwise, it would be impossible to conduct through the screening in place as densely populated as Zhejiang province. I just mentioned the population of Zhejiang province is 58.5 million. So the health code, I know that also is maybe is designed by the Alibaba company and cooperate with the government, the Big Data Bureau. Health code is a quick response code generated to demonstrate the health conditions of the people by combining self-reported health data, travel histories, including data showing they are from an infected area with transportation and recorded of the hospital visit. Someone may argue that maybe will interfere the privacy, but I say balance between the privacy and the life, which is important. For the I think this is a slide show how we our hospital activate the emergency response mechanism to the big outbreaks immediately after the emergency of COVID-19. We quickly put in place of the prevention and control committee, an expert group, a set of the outpatient, emergency room, and inpatient process that answer to the special circumstances. We also reallocated human resource and step up staffing at the fever clinic, respiratory outpatient clinics. On top of that, we set up isolation ward for the suspected patients, concentrated observation and resting area for the staff that are suspected of exposure. Procure and stock PPE, the personal protective equipment. Arrange an independent CT room for the suspected patient. Strengthen staffing for PCR test. The slide shows the top executive, CEO, and the designated VP, the Vice President Ho Chiang, on board, joint effort to do through the coordination of the different departments, such as medical administration, nursing hospital, nursing department, and the infection, health, and multiple discipline department. An expert group, the specialist group in charge of the consulting and diagnosis of the COVID-19 is very important. We also the modification of the existing protocol and process to date. So far, emergency response plan has been updated to its 7th edition, while guidelines medical practice the update the 15th. All according to the nation published by the nation nation, China has I mean the commission. This I mean the show us that staff training is very important, because I mean every beginning the medical staff is lack of the I mean the knowledge about COVID-19. Even just mentioned that in some infectious specialists also the know I mean the little about COVID-19, because COVID-19 is so different with I mean the SARS and MERS. Even during the incubation period, also can have very strong, highly infectious, strong and contagious. And for the asthmatic patient carrier also can, I mean, take a very, very highly infections. So this picture shows on the afternoon, at the very beginning, the January 23rd, I give a speech that to them in all the medical staffs. You can see that even on the podium, I also wear the mask. We strongly believe that wear mask is very important for the prevention of the I mean the COVID 19. Maybe nobody I mean know the Chinese. I would like to translate to the Chinese to you. It means that the full mobilization, full participation, ready at all times. At the moment of the call, we come to the war and win the war against I mean the COVID-19. And we should I mean also take a very important I mean the potential to the improvement of facilities. We strictly follow the criteria concerning hospital infection control to build, even rebuild high quality the isolation ward. We managed to quickly improve the facilities in the following 4 areas: a fever clinic, isolation ward, observation ward for exposed medical staff, resting areas for the staff engaged in the fight against the outbreak. I want to say something about the fever clinic. Maybe in the foreign country, most of the foreign country, maybe in the South Africa, there's no fever clinic. Maybe someone never I mean listen to the fever clinic. The fever clinic in China is established after the outbreak of SARS in 2003. In my hospital, is have an independent medical building, including rooms for the consultation, infusion, pharmacy, X-ray, etc., which enable it to independently complete almost the full process of diagnosis and treatment of febrile patients. The picture shows the independent building, a relative independent medical areas with 3 zones of 2 the passages. During this time, during the outbreak of the COVID-19, the fever clinic function as the sentinel point and the central axis, and has contributed tremendously to the screening, prevention, and control COVID-19. All the 4 cases confirmed in this building, and most of the among the 106 cases of the suspected cases, most of the cases, suspected cases, is diagnosed in this building. This picture is show what is the 2 channel and 3 zones. This is the 3 zones is for the medical staff, the pairs for the medical staff. This is for the patient. And this is a potential solid zone, and this is solid zone. Maybe Professor Chen, the head of the nursing department, will make later will make an explanation in detail. This picture shows the medical staff wears the PPE, face shield, protective gown, gloves, N95, the respirators, and the shoe cuff. You see, they look like the alien astronauts. Maybe where it's not so comfortable, but it's very important. This slide shows us how to the prevention and control of the COVID-19 in the outpatient clinic. The Professor Zhang Jun, the Director of Medical Administration, will later elaborate on. And this slide shows how to prevention and screening the emergency room on the patient. The Professor Zhang Jun, the head of the administration office, will make the further explain later. Actually, we pay very close attention to the suspected case among our inpatient. As we know that if there is someone admitted as an inpatient is infected, all the other inpatient and our medical staff will be exposed to great danger. Therefore, we must take a strong precaution to avoid it. You see, all the patients have to go through the 5-step screening process. First, temperature check, health code check. It means the just mentioned health code check, COVID-19 questionnaires, and then CT scan. Strengthen the management of the carer and visitors, care visitors in the inpatient areas. Limited number of the carers in entrance can only be permitted by the presentation of the visiting permit and the health code. Open anesthesia group consultation. Department of Anesthesia is required to review a COVID-19 proactive monitoring question and double-check the documentation to ensure thorough screening of COVID-19 before the operation. I think this is very important. If someone admitted to the inpatient department who suffer from the COVID-19, it is the disaster, easy to outbreak in the COVID-19 in the hospital. I would like to say something about CT scan. CT scan is added to the national screening list at our hospital. Someone even for the test, nucleic acid test is negative, but the CT scan is show the very early, in the early stage can show the typical feature. So one case in my hospital that this patient with suspected CT scan, but who is confirmed, it is the false test. It means that the first, the 3 tests all negative. The fourth test, finally the confirmed. This picture is showed how to manage some patient in the emergency room. Some emergency inpatient. Some patient is suspected to the COVID-19, but maybe the condition is good, so transfer to the isolation ward. But someone maybe is need to receive the urgent operation. We must perform the operation in the negative pressure operation room. If someone should take the critical the care, we should admitted to the negative pressure ward. That's very important according to the patient's condition. Otherwise, easy to cause the hospital infection. This slide is show us how to pay attention to the protect our medical staff. We deeply care about the health of our staff, and that's highly emphasized when on the personal protection by providing adequate PPE and training to our staff how to protect themselves. The health of the staff is as crucial in the prevention of the hospital infection. The nosocomial spread as themselves. As infected but not detected medical provider is a working transmission source, which poses great danger to all. And so far, it's so happy. We can proud of to saying we reach a staged victory in the fight against this unprecedented outbreak. Because so far, for the medical staff is 4,052 is zero infection. The medical staff sent out to support Wuhan, 205 medical staff is come back safe and sound. Tomorrow, all the medical staff complete their the observation and receive nucleic acid testing and antibody IgG and IgM of the COVID-19, all the negative. It means no one is suffering the or infection of the COVID-19. When they're in Wuhan, it's every day, every night. I worry them so much. At last, I would like to share with you our tough journey through the past few months in the fight against COVID-19. Both our achievement and experience, which I think was sharing. The first, strong measures it is a government level to control transmission sources, break transmission routes, protect the vulnerable population are of the paramount importance. And for the vaccine, I think also in China is should realize the power of the government. At the same time, concentration of the patient resource and treatment can fully make use of the resource and reduce mortality. Second, nationwide education of the COVID-19 prevention and control, strict implementation of the all measures. It is highly important for every single citizen across the nation to consciously comply with all the prevention and control measures, avoiding gathering, wear mask, and frequently wash. I should add that correctly wash their hands in order to curb the spread of virus. The third, timely response, robust management structure, sound protocols, comprehensive training, and facility improvement are all highly important factors that provide guarantee to effective screening, protection of other patients, and smooth operation of the hospital. Fourth, it is crucial for the medical staff to be strictly trained, fully educated in COVID-19, follow closely the guidelines concerning individual protection to guarantee an effective medical response to the outbreak. The last, an independent fever clinic and strict 3-zone and 2 procedures have contributed themselves tremendously to the screening, prevention, and control of the COVID-19. I hope that today's sharing can be of some help to you, to our colleagues in South Africa. I would love to answer any questions you may have later in the open discussion. Thank you. Good luck. Stay strong. Good luck. Thank you.
Thank you, Professor Huang. All the conclusions are quite useful and crucial for all the people here, and I think which is also very useful for the people from South Africa. I think in the next sections we can talk about the topic more deeper to bring this in a vivid way. And the next part, I'd like to introduce our hero and the Vice President of Professor He Qiang, Vice President of Zhejiang Province People Hospital, who will share experience in Wuhan Mobile Cabin Hospital. And he is also just back from Wuhan a couple of days ago. Welcome.
Thank you. Hello, good night. I'm a friend and a colleague of South Africa. It's my great honor for me to introduce our working experience in Cabin Hospital in Wuhan. I wish it will be useful for you. I'm as a leader of our Zhejiang National Emergency Medical Rescue Team. This team was established in 2011. And our team there about have more than 48 staffs. And we also have 8 special vehicles, such as a mobile CT scan, mobile DR, mobile P3 laboratory, mobile operation room, ambulance, and power supply vehicle. All our equipment deployed, it will be a mobile hospital and also a tent hospital. This year, we have 2 months in the Wuhan, and we have worked at 4 cabin hospitals. A total about more than 1,600 COVID-19 patients were received by our medical team. Among them, most patients was recovered and discharged. About 41 serious patients were transferred to designated hospital. There was 0 deaths under our care. Our group also provided training to more than 800 medical staff and also more than 1,000 security and cleaning staff. Because in the Wuhan, all the cabin hospital was contracted just in the downtown of the Wuhan. So it was rebuilt by the gymnasia, stadia, and the school. All the cabin hospital must have 3 zones and 3 passages. This slide shows the function of a mobile cabin hospital. I think the mobile cabin hospital must have 5 functions. Firstly, it is most important. It must to charge the patient. In our hospital, it only the comfort patient, the mild and moderate disease can admitted in this hospital. But if the patient was a severe or critical patient, this patient must transferred to the magnificent hospital. So it is very important. We also must give the patient frequent monitoring, such as a vital sign. And this patient also, we give this patient some basic medical care. And this patient in our hospital also need isolation. Then our hospital also met the need of the patient's life, basic life and social interaction. And in this hospital also have 3 key characteristics, such as it can rapid construction, and it is cost effective, and it have a much beds, such as thousands, hundreds of beds. Now, this slide shows the functional unit of a cabin hospital. And the most important was the wards. Now, in the cabin hospital, the wards also have 10 to 20 beds. It was to save the human resource. Now, they also have some public areas for the patient, for their to move, to patient education, dancing, Tai Chi, Chuan, gymnastics. And there are also some official officer for medical staff. They also have some place for patient to bath and washing, and they also need enough mobile toilet. And this also, they should have the imaging area. Then the patient can here to do the chest X-ray examination, CT scan. And our hospital, we also use the remote robot ultrasound for the first time for COVID-19 patients. And they also need some area for the clinical test. I also need the nucleic test area. But we also can set the specimen to the designated hospital. So it's not needed to the special area in this cabin hospital. About on average, about 50 patients need 5 medical staffs, including 1 doctor and 4 nurses. About 6 to 8 hours per shift for medical staff, also for the security and cleaning staff. Because there are 2 basic lines for cabin hospital. No patient should die in the cabin hospital, and no staff infect in cabin hospital. So we also need to elect a special person to supervise and guide the security staff and the cleaner to ensure their safety. Okay, there shows some hospitalization standard in KB hospital. All the patients in this hospital must be confirmed patient. So the patient must be positive in the nucleic acid test. All the patients must be mild or moderate syndrome. And all the patients must live independent. This patient have no serious chronic disease, have no history of mental illness, and his saturation of oxygen must be more than 93, and his left heart rate must be lower than 30. What do we do for this patient in our hospital? We must to monitor their vital sign. We must do some laboratory tests and imaging examination. And we also give the patient some general treatment, such as good rest, properly diet, and give the patient some psychological consultation. And some patients need oxygen treatment. And also we give the patient some drug for treatment. This slide shows us the common used drugs in KB hospital. Firstly, we use the antiviral treatment. The most used drug was epidural. I think this drug was effective and have little side effect and was very tolerant. And another drug was chloroquine phosphate. But this drug, you must do care the heart disease of this patient. And the antibiotic was not regular use in this patient. But if you think the patient has bacterial infection, then you can use a course. And most patients in the cabin hospital always use the traditional Chinese medicine. I think it will be much useful for control the temperature. Okay, as I said, just said before, in our cabin hospital, no patient can die in our hospital. So if we find the severe hospital, we must transfer the patient to the significant hospital immediately. So it is very important for us to judge which patient was serious and which patient was critical. So we must to make certain the respiration dress, whether the patient has respiratory dress, water with oxygen saturation, and what will change of the non-imaging, and so on. And this is a discharge standard in the cabin hospital. And if the patient, his temperature was normal more than 3 days, if his significant was improved, and if his non-injury were absorbed, so we can call this patient can go back. And we also to do some procedures to make certain his respiratory pathogen test was negative for 2 consecutive tests. Sample must be collected with more than 2 days between. We must to know it was very important for this patient. If the patient who met the discharge standard, they should be discharged in time to build up their confidence, especially in the early stage. I think it is very important. And we also talked about the value of the mobile cabin hospital. I think the cabin hospital was very important to control the disease. It was quickly to build, and it had hundreds and thousands of beds. It can optimize the utilization of the human resource, and all the patients can admit it. So it's very important to control the infection source and to break the transmission route. And we give the patient timely and professional evaluation and treatment. So control avoid the patient from the mild and moderate to severely and to deterioration. And also we save the regular hospital beds for the severe and critical patient. So also we can reduce the mortality. And we also, I think that the mobile cabin hospital is not a regular hospital. It is need not exist for a long time. When the patient reduced, the mission also ended. The average lifespan of a cabin hospital is 1 month or 1.5 months. Lastly, I think I want to use the famous words of President Mandela. He has said, "It seemed impossible until we get it done." I hope South Africa will win the anti-epidemic war as soon as possible. And welcome to beautiful Hangzhou. Thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Professor He. I think a lot of experience in inside and in the cabin hospital. So you will give us a lesson and how to survive in the area. And now we can introduce another female hero. Professor Yang, Deputy Director of ICU, who will share the experience in Wuhan ICU. Also, the other doctor back from Wuhan. Let's welcome.
Hello, everyone. It's my great honor to have an opportunity to share my experience on the management of severe patients with COVID-19. I'm Dr. Yang from the Department of Critical Care Medicine. From January 25th to March 22nd, I worked as the Director of Isolation Ward for Serious EO patients at Wuhan Pu'ai Hospital, the designated hospital for COVID-19 patients. Totally, near 300 patients received, which more than half with serious and critical symptoms, and 12 deaths. In my opinion, there are many challenges in managing patients with severe COVID-19, and I summarize them as the following 3 points. First one is the lack of critical care resource. The second one is how to recognize the severe COVID-19 patients earlier. And the third is how to critical care manage the severe COVID-19 patients. The government has taken many measures to alleviate the pressure of the lack of resource. For example, transform the general ward into isolation ward for seriously ill patients or ICU. Transfer well-trained personnel to Wuhan from all over the country, just like us. And find ways to deploy more medical equipment. Since the severity of disease is closely related to the prognosis, it is necessary to identify the high-risk and critical ill patients early. In clinical practice, we found age, lymphocyte count, oxygen inhalation, aggressive CT scan, and accompanied with underlying disease are the independent risk factors for COVID-19 progressing to a critical condition. So we established an early warning system and screening procedures. All COVID-19 patients were screened twice every day, and the respiratory rate, heart rate, SpO2 were monitored regularly. If patients identified as high-risk patients were under continuous close monitoring. Once SpO2 less than 93%, respiratory rate more than 30 times per minute, heart rate more than 120 BPM, or any signs of organ failure were observed, patients would be transferred to the ICU or isolation ward for serious ill patients, and critical care management should be performed. Now let's move to the critical care management of severe COVID-19. Since there have been no effective antiviral treatment for COVID-19, the important way to reduce mortality is to implement supportive treatment, which include respiratory support, hemodynamic support, blood purification, nutrition support, and other supports if necessary. First of all, I'd like to focus on respiratory support. According to different degree of respiratory failure, we give stratified treatment, which including conventional oxygen therapy, high-flow nasal cannula oxygen therapy, non-invasive mechanical ventilation. invasive mechanical ventilation, and ECMO. For patients with mild to moderate respiratory failure, high-flow nasal cannula oxygen therapy and non-invasive mechanical ventilation was the first choice. Meanwhile, restrictive fluid resuscitation is performed to relieve pulmonary edema. A weak prone position is attempted for patients who have not been intubated but with impaired oxygenation, especially with alveolar collapse. Here, I'd like to emphasize that it is very important to close monitoring the therapeutic effect. Checking intubation should be performed as early as possible for patients with an oxygenation index less than 150 millimeter mercury, worsening symptoms of respiratory distress within 1 to 2 hours after high flow or NIV. Lung protective strategy is necessary, which include low tidal volume, maintain the plateau pressure less than 30 centimeter of water, and the driving pressure less than 15 centimeter of water. We always set people according to the ARDS-NET protocol. If available, ECMO should be initiated early to avoid the ventilation-induced lung injury. Here, I'd like to share some details of infection control measures. Patients should wear a surgical mask during high-flow nasal cannula treatment. NIV with the double circuit is recommended. A virus filter should be installed between the mask and the exhalation valve. During the progressing from the severe to critical ill stage, patients may develop into shock. At that moment, restrictive fluid resuscitation under the premise of adequate tissue perfusion is necessary. We always use the dynamic parameters to assess fluid responsiveness, and norepinephrine is the first-line vasoactive agent for COVID-19 patients with shock, and the target MAP is 60 to 65 millimeter of mercury. The incidence rate of AKI in COVID-19 patients varies with different severity of illness. Continuous renal replacement therapy should be considered for the critical cares that accompany with AKI 2 to 3 stages. And we also carried out blood purification to block cytokine storm, which include plasma exchanger, plasma adsorption, hemoperfusion or CPFA, and so on. In order to standardize the treatment, we create 4 steps of blood purification protocol for critical COVID-19. And the nutrition support is crucial to severe and critical ill COVID-19 patients. So early evaluation, malnutrition risk, gastrointestinal functions, and aspiration risk should be performed, and early enteral nutrition is preferred. And energy supply, the target of energy supply is 25 to 30 kilocalorie per kilogram body weight, and the target protein is 1.2 to 2 point. And in clinical practice, we also found that coagulation dysfunction is common in COVID-19 patients, which is also closely associated with the severity and prognosis. So we create a flowchart of diagnosis and treatment of COVID-19 associated coagulopathy. Now it's my time to finish my presentation, and I'd like to re-emphasize the key point. Enough trained personnel and equipment are crucial. Early recognition of high-risk and severe patients and early intervention guided by internists is necessary, and individualized supportive care is recommended. And thank you for your attention.
Thank you, Professor Yang. And now let's welcome Dr. Zhang, Director of the Medical Administration Department, who will share the medical management experience in the fight against COVID-19 at Zhejiang Provincial People's Hospital. Let's welcome.
Hello, everyone. I am Dr. Zhang from Medical Administration Department. And tonight, I would like to share with you the screening, prevention, and control workflow of COVID-19 inside our hospital. As we all know, the fight against COVID-19 has now entered a crucial stage all around the world. In face of the serious situation and pressure from work resumption across our nation, early detection and screening is becoming increasingly important. So as our Chairman Huang mentioned previously, this is a 4-level pre-check and triage model for our outpatient and ED. Our hospital has adopted the 4-level pre-check and triage model for the quick, effective, and thorough detection of suspected cases. Level 1 of triage is we put up at the single entry point of the campus a pre-check point with our volunteers, equipped with infrared thermometers and temperature counts, testing the body temperature and Hangzhou Health QR code of every single individual entering the campus and make sure they all wear masks. And the level 2 of triage, we arrange designated staff at the triage desk in both the outpatient and ED to double check the patient's temperature in case outdoor temperature test be inaccurate, so as to timely detect the febrile cases. The level 3 is we set up a ear temperature testing point at the nearest station within each waiting area and ask them to fill in the form of COVID-19 survey for outpatients. And the last level of triage is in the consultation rooms. Physicians are required to first of all read the survey form. Then, with that as a reference, ask the patient's symptoms, epidemiological history, and take notes. In case of suspected symptoms or epidemiological history, a nurse should be immediately lead the patients to the fever clinic. And as I just mentioned, we make the triage based on the National Health Commission diagnosis protocol for suspected cases. So what is suspected cases? According to the protocol, there should be meet two criteria. The first one is meet one criterion in terms of epidemiological history, and meet 2 criteria in terms of clinical symptoms, or meet 3 criteria in terms of clinical symptoms, if without any epidemiological history. And epidemiological history and the clinical symptoms are as follows. And what is confirmed cases? According to the protocol, a clinically diagnosed case of suspect case must be meet one of the following etiological evidences. They are based on either the RT-PCR test or the gene sequencing or the IgM and IgG antibodies. As a very crucial department of our clinic, the function of fever clinic in China is very essential. The fever clinic is a special setup in response to SARS in 2003. It is a crucial window of the hospital, functions as a key part of early warning mechanism in response to an acute epidemic. And the fever clinic is also an important tool to avoid nosocomial spread, as well as the first barricade in the fight against the epidemic in the hospital. Here is the management structure of our fever clinic. That is so-called one integrated system with 3 separated responsibilities. And we also have 4 highly efficient teams at the fever clinic to guarantee effective screening of COVID-19. Team 1 is a team of experts made up by specialists in depth of infectious diseases, respiratory medicine, and critical care medicine. They are 24 hours on call for group consultation when any suspected cases appear. Team 2 is we have a designated attending doctor to act as the head of the fever clinic and claim responsibility to all aspects of work concern, in such includes administration, training, and supervision. Team 3 is a physician group working at the fever clinic, made up by the selected, well-trained physicians from relevant departments. And Team 4 is in order to guarantee the accurate of stored swab sampling. We have a designated sampling team working at the fever clinic that is made up by strictly trained and selected staff. And this is the screening workflow at our fever clinic. If the physicians at the fever clinic cannot exclude the possibilities of COVID-19, experts group in the hospital should be contacted for consultation, and the nucleic acid test should be ordered if necessary. And this is the so-called 5-step screening for inpatients, just as our Chairman Huang mentioned previously. We have 5-step screen for inpatients. The step 1 is before consultation. We conduct the screening based on the patient's body temperature and the health code. Step 2 is during the consultation. Physician asks the patients about their travel histories, contact histories, whether or not they have respiratory symptoms with reference to their COVID-19 survey form. And step 3 is in order to better detect the asymptomatic infections. All patients have to receive chest CT scan before admission to hospital. And the 4th step is when going through the admission process, the patients and their family have surveyed for inpatients, carers, and visitors, so as to strengthen the screening of carers and visitors and avoid nosocomial cross-infection. And the last step is upon entering the ward zones, the designated nurse will check everyone's body temperature and health code. That is so-called 5-step screening. And upon detecting of suspected cases of COVID-19, and after confirmed by the expert group of our hospital, throat swab will be collected, and the patient will be put into isolation wards for isolation and observation. If tested positive, it should be reported to CDC. The CDC will again sample the throat swabs and then transfer the patients to designated hospitals for treatment. At the same time, the CDC will conduct epidemiological surveys and impose quarantine, medical, or community observation on people suspected of exposure. And to make sure the whole workflow runs smoothly, we also carry out many supervisions daily or weekly, such as daily supervision tour by the hospital's COVID-19 leading group for timely detection of potential holes in the system. As you've seen, our Chairman Huang, every day, he patrols our campus at least twice. And others as daily meeting of relevant departments on Ding Talk to discuss issues concerning the prevention and control of COVID-19. We hold this meeting every night except tonight. The third is designated staff at the departmental level to report to the health conditions and implementation of personal protection inside the department. And our department, that is Medical Administration Department, conducts continuous weekly inspection of the prevention and control of COVID-19 in the operation rooms. And we also carry out daily inspection of key units, such as the fever clinic and the isolation wards, etc. Okay, that's all for my speech. Thank you for your attention. Thank you.
Thank you, Dr. Zhang Jing. Thank you for it. And now let's welcome Ms. Chen Xiaoming, Director of Nursing Department, who will share the news nursing management experience in fight against COVID-19 at Zhejiang Province People's Hospital.
Thank you for your introduction. Hi everyone, my name is Xiaoming Chen from Nursing Division, Zhejiang Provincial People's Hospital. It's my great honor to share the experience with you. My topic is strategies for prevention and control of COVID-19. A nursing work group for COVID-19 prevention and control established, developing nursing protocol, procedure, and quality assurance standards and checklists, arranging human resource and providing psychological counseling, changing nursing shift model to 4-hour shifts, staff training and evaluation of update knowledge related to COVID-19, supervising implementation of quality assurance and consistent improvement. Resuming 4 zones, that's fever clinic, quarantine zone for suspected patient, the medical observation zone for healthcare personnel, rest zone for frontline healthcare personnel. Screen the epidemiological history, and we usually screen all patients in the entry of the hospital and all visitors, caregivers, and medical staff and the supporting staff. And the epidemiological history that Dr. Zhang already mentioned. The body temperature monitoring, we have 40 hours body temperature monitoring in the front entrance of the hospital, outpatient, triage counter, and emergency triage and ward zone entrance. And we also object and frequency the peoples who entered the hospital. Hand washing is most important. So we need hand washing, the step by step, and wearing mask correctly, properly is also most important. We have 3 levels protection for in-hospital workers. That's 1 level, and the level 2 and the level 3. And on the screen, you can see the different levels, the wear supplies devices is different. Strict management of families and visitors, shortening visit time and appropriate distance during visit, 24 hours, we need limited. Disinfection the environment and the objective surface, the air ventilation, air disinfection, and also the surface of objects, people, frequency contact, like the computer keyboard, telephone, door handles. We need wipe with, certain disinfectant, according to the local regulation. And the floor and the objective service and also other supplies also need disinfected. management, the surgical patient, we have the strict screening of the patient, surgical patient. Surgical pre-surgery checklist for the epidemiological history, CT scan report, and the blood test, and the symptoms of the patient, etc. And the strict OR infection control implementations, like for the ordinary patient, for suspected COVID-19 patient, for the COVID-19 patient, the different kind of patient, the protection level is different, and the treatment of the prevention control of distance is different. In the OR, if we did the suspected patient or the confirmed the COVID-19 patient, we need do something and follow, like people, surgical workers, level 3 protection, people working in and out of OR do not switch. Patient transfer by a designed channel, and the surgical mask for patients that are not administered within general anesthesia, and cover them with disposable impermeable cover. And for the supplies and the device, use disposable surgical device for and the instruments disinfect first, and the cleaning second. Disinfection of the environment and the object service, the air, the surface object of flower, and the medical waste according to the local policy. My topic is closing, but I would like to say the mountains and the rivers are different. The wind and the moon are the same as the sky. And the virus knows no boundaries. Now, we are together. Let's make the difference. Thank you.
Thank you, Ms. Chen. Thank you for the sharing section. And now let's move to the Q&A sections. And for this part, I think a lot of attendees, you have a lot of questions. You can just drop any questions through the Q&A bar, or you raise your hands. And for this part, Professor Wang Zhifei, Director of the International Collaboration Department, who will help to facilitate on this Q&A sections. All the participants, would you please put your questions in Q&A bar, or just raise your hands, and just keep Professor Wang noted. Thank you.
Hello, everybody. I'm Dr. Wang. I'm also director. And thank you for the introduction. I noticed some questions already been raised on the comment area. I know let's start from the first one. It comes from Dr. Gabriela Tokas, whose question is, what was your experience in dealing with COVID-19 management in psychiatric patients? I will just give the question to Dr. Liao, who is the physician of the psychiatric department. Liao, please louder words.
Okay, hi. I'm Dr. Liao.
And yeah, please come to the front. So can you hear us, please?
Yes, please come to the front so we can hear you clearly.
Okay, can you hear us? Yes, okay. We have Dr. Liao right here, and who is close to the speaker. So please.
Okay, the psychiatric patient will confirm COVID-19. First, we will give assessment for the mild patient. The volunteers team who will give the supportive psychotherapy such as listening, comfort, understanding, and helping. For the moderate patient, we will give the bedside medicine and give some drugs such as antidepressant, antipsychotics, and hypnotics. For the severe patients, we will send them to the designated hospitals for the treatment. Besides, we provide the remote consultations.
That's it. Okay. And we go to the next question, which is.
Just answer the questions. Go.
Okay. Dr. Zhugo, is that question, the answer is good enough, or do you want to go further for the question, please?
Hello, this is Dr. Mzwanda speaking.
Yes.
We're calling from South Africa, Leratong Hospital. I would just like to find out on the prophylaxis of using chloroquine itself for staff members.
Okay.
Can we use it for staff members, and how can we use the chloroquine itself?
Okay, yes, for the prophylaxis, right?
Yes.
Yes. So currently, we don't use it as a routine for the prophylaxis for the using the chemo prophylaxis.
Okay.
Never.
We don't do that. Yes. No.
So can I just have a follow-up question?
Yes, we don't use coloride containing steps for the chemo prophylaxis. For the we don't do that.
Okay. Can we just add another question?
Sure.
Hello, good afternoon, Dr. Panzu here from Leratong, I'm a medical manager. Can you please kindly share the information regarding the fever clinic that you spoke to earlier on? It would be appreciated if we can get a setup of those clinics, the three zones and subpassages. We want to get further understanding. If you could share it with us so that we can look into that. Thank you.
Sorry, I didn't quite follow you. Could you?
I think he just means that they would like the materials just to figure out how to do the fever clinics, which is what they are specifically interested in.
Okay, we'll just give the question to Dr.
他们应该是要那个材料，就是说之后他们想更仔细的，就是知道，对。
The fever clinic, is that right?
Okay. Actually, we have the very detail. The guideline and the protocol how to arrange clinic fever and so on. But anyway, so far we only have the Chinese version. So if you like to get this information, we can send it to Alibaba Foundation in Chinese. Then after to translate it to English to you. Okay.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
But still, to do that, you can just type your questions on the comment area. And while waiting for this, we can go to the very last question I noticed on the already in the comment area. Is it okay? Okay. So the question is coming from Dr. Exodus. Is there any special procedures or guidelines in handling patients died of COVID-19? Are there any special precautions? And the COPSIS, the answer is the COPSIS will be managed according to the Chinese national regulation of infectious disease, and which is 2,000 to 300 milligram per liter chloride containing disinfectant will be plugged into the 7 openings of the face and anus and the anus and the vagina for female, and the dual layer sheet soaked by the same 2,000 to 3,000 milligram per liter chloride containing disinfectant will be used to wrap the COPSIS before putting into the body bag and transported to the designated premeditation place. And the staffs should wear N95 respirators, as well as protective clothes and 2 layers of the gloves. That is according strictly to the regulation. And please, Doctor, please go ahead with your question. And next one is coming from Dr. Zugo, and her question is the presentation on respiratory support mentioned in a couple of clinic protocols. Can we request the protocol to be shared with our clinicians? I would just give one question to Dr. Yang.
Okay.
She will be very happy to answer the question.
Okay. We really have the clinical protocol on the respiratory support, okay. And I'd like to. It's my honor to share with you, clinicians. But unfortunately, it is in Chinese. Maybe Ali Foundation can help us to translate it into English, and I will send an email to the Ali Foundation, and I hope they will translate it into English, and hope this is helpful to your clinicians.
Yeah, we will assist with that.
Okay, so shall we go to the next question, which comes from Dr. Bailings, whose question is, please can we have more information regarding types of isolation rooms, negative pressure, and also please more information on the passage in each clinic. So the isolation rooms, yes, I think there will be also a protocol for in regarding of the types of isolation rooms, which will be also according to our chairman said we will provide to Alibaba, and will be translated in English in case. And do we have negative pressure? Yes.
Actually, I mean in China, it's a regulation. I mean the published by the Health Bureau of the central government, and in Zhejiang province is the published by the Zhejiang Health Commission for the top hospital. It means comprehensive hospital is the so-called the third one class and the grade 3 hospital means top hospital should have some negative pressure operation rooms and the negative the pressure the wards, and for every comprehensive the hospital it is necessary to keep at least the 40 beds for the infectious disease. So this time when it is the beginning of the outbreak of the COVID-19, we cleared out of the infectious disease department and built according to the criteria of the infection control department, and the keep for the isolation ward. We have very detailed resolution for how to build the isolation ward. So if you need, we can send this detailed protocol to the Alibaba Foundation. Thank you.
Okay. So the next question is that more information on the passage in each clinic. I think that has been introduced with Dr. Zhang's slide, and as well as Chairman Huang's slide. So such information also according to protocol, I think can be provided.
Yeah.
Yes,
sure.
along.
Sure.
So.
Is it come to you?
So any other question, please?
还有一些关于就是儿童的这些问题，还有孕妇。
Okay.
Actually, in my hospital there is no, it's not the designated hospital for the COVID-19. So my hospital only in clinical fever only received for the screening and the diagnosis of suspected patients. For the fever patient. If we diagnose some COVID-19, we should immediately transfer to designated hospital. So we have no any experience about how to treat the pregnancy with the COVID-19, and for the child with COVID-19. But as you know that India, the one of designated hospital, it means the first affiliate hospital of the Zhejiang Medical University School of Medicine, they have the treat one of the pregnancy woman with the pregnancy with the COVID-19, and they is successfully the produce the child as a baby, and the pregnancy woman is a survivor. And for the another case, the patient is a very maybe the 3 years old, 2-3 years old. The patient with the COVID-19, the admitted in the designated hospital, also in the the number 1 affiliate hospital of Zhejiang University. They cooperate with a childhood hospital of Zhejiang University. They are treated and successfully. This patient also discharged. So I think if you would like to get some information in detail about how to treat, how to take care of the pregnancy, the patient, COVID-19 patient, and the child patient, you can the communicate with the first affiliate hospital of Zhejiang University through the Alibaba Foundation. Okay.
Just to add to that point, we had a session previously with the first affiliated hospital of Zhejiang University that also covers that point, and the video is already on the covid-19.alibabacloud.com website, which is the GMCC platform website.
Okay. Okay.
Shall we go to the next question, which come from Dr. Nathan Green, who asked, did you have a palliative care strategy for those that had a very poor prognosis? I will give that question to our Dr. Yang, who's been working in the ICU.
有没有呼吸性的这个治疗对于就晚期的这种
If the patient have a poor prognosis, maybe sometimes he on the invasive mechanical ventilation and will give some sedation and analgesia to make the patient comfortable, more comfortable.
还是不是这个最后的这个减轻或者呼吸就不太用药的这个意思？还是
we just give some strengthen the sedation and analgesia therapy.
Okay.
Hello.
Yeah.
Ask a question.
Go ahead.
Yes, my name is Dr. Vusi Kalala. I'm calling from South Africa, specifically with the issue of pregnant women, which are a high-risk category as well. Are there any specific guidelines or suggestions that you can give in terms of managing, particularly the pregnant women that come as COVID-19 positive? Thank you. Dr. Vusi Kalala from South Africa.
Sorry, Dr. Kalala, can I just step in? So I think they just answered the question a little bit earlier. So I think those patients.
Yeah. I joined late.
Yeah.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no problem. But there's a video. So I think this was answered in some of the previous hospital sessions that we have.
And you'll send the video.
Yeah, the video is on the website. Yeah.
Okay, we will just go to the next question. I don't have the name here, but thank you for the presentation. How did you manage to deal with the issue of staffing, and did you employ new staff to add to the ones you had? I think that question definitely have to go to the Chairman Hall.
Okay, it's challenging for any hospital if they receive the COVID-19, the patient. Even for my hospital is not the designated hospital for the COVID-19 patient. But at the very beginning, because so many patients suffer from fever, they worry about the COVID-19. They rush to my hospital. So we also feel the shortage of human resource. we do staffing, and we control the volume for the the ordinary routine work. For example, we stop some elective operation and stop some department service. For example, it's easy to cause the infection of COVID-19. For example, such as the dentistry. During that time, the dentistry is closed. We alignment of some physicians from the respiratory the department, and for some cardiological department, endocrinological department, and also relative the department the support and to the take a rotation in the fever clinic. After almost 1 month, everything is good, because so many the people rush to hospital to see doctor. It is a peak time. The almost 200 patients the visit my the fever clinic. But nowadays only the 20, even 10 the visitors the patients visit the fever clinic. So this is a good big challenge to the hospital. I think if face this the outbreak of the COVID-19, we should rearrangement of the human resource.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
That's my answer.
Okay. So we'll just go to the next question.
Dr. Mendoza, do you have a question?
Okay, Dr. Mendoza, do you have a question? Go ahead.
You said the mobile cabin hospitals were quick to build. How quick were they to build, and what was the cost thereof?
Okay.
Thank you for your question. I think all the cabin hospital must contribute very quickly. There are about 2 or 3 days for the government to control the cabin hospital, but only left 1 day for our doctor or our medical staff to make the hospital shoot for the patient admission. So it was a very short time. Always only give us 3 times to control a cabin hospital. Thank you.
Okay, so can we go to the next question on the command area? So next question is coming from Dr. Angel Chikabo. His question is, on the screening and the testing, how prevalent was COVID-19 from that exercise? I'll give that question to Dr. Li, who's been to the frontier of battle, and also the respiratory department deputy director.
Hello, everyone. My name is Yachi Li. It's my honor to share my experience with us, with you. Indeed, this is a good question. As I know, new clinic exit test is the good standard for the diagnosis of COVID-19. However, as we know, the positive right route, it is about only percent 19 or to 15%. We can ensure our experience, and there are 389 cases. But on the first two new clinic acid test, only 8 live positive. Another 300 is negative, but there then these patients will be done a CT scan, there are 225 is positive. So this is important. So CT scan at our deleter that lot department. This CT scan diagnosis is about 75. I think you click acid test is also important. Finally, our important the IgM and IgG antibodies is very useful to identify some cases. There are some there are 389 cases. Finally, 143 cases diagnosed by IgM IgG antibody test. So I think this the method can be combined. Thanks.
Okay, thank you. And we to save time, just go to the next question. Coming from Dr. Mayer, using enzonamycin in COVID-19 cases, mild, moderate, or severe? If so, what is the dose? Good question, Dr. He. Please.
Because in Kelby Hospital, there are always the mild or moderate cases. So in our hospital, we have little experience by single use of the azithromycin. But we should combine the azithromycin with the Apitor. We think Apitor may be more useful to my point. But if the patient maybe have combined with bacterial infections, so you can add another antibiotic drugs, such as azithromycin. Yes, thank you.
Okay, so next question, let's go to the vaccine coming from, let's see. I don't have that name here, but since the start of the outbreak of COVID-19 in your country, I believe that you are working tirelessly around the clock, and that is why you have so much information shared with us at South Africa and the whole world. Are you not in any way finding vaccines for this disease? As professor, doctors, if there is vaccines, how long it is going to take to implement, and millions of people are dying? For the vaccine one.
Okay. Everybody knows that the best way to control and prevention of the outbreak of the COVID-19 is vaccination. As I know that in China, the university research institution and the government and the company all do their best to research on the vaccine, research. So the best best result, I know that the one research team, they have entered the second phase of the vaccination clinical trial. So I think maybe the end of this year or the October, we can get the final result, and maybe take the special clinical the path can the use in the clinically. Maybe I wish we can get a big good result and can save the so many lives which who I suffer from the COVID-19. Okay.
Okay. Thank you for. We will just go to the next question. I think coming from the same doctor. This question is: during presentation, there is an indication that the chest scan should be done even if the result is negative. Can we take as a necessity to scan all COVID? Yes, negative. Thank you.
This is a good question. Of course, some patients be done CT scan, but the result found no pneumonia. But then these patients maybe test by IgM, maybe we found that they can be confirmed. So that's necessary. Others, some people maybe nucleic acid test negative, but we can found this some patients has pneumonia after they be done CT scan. Thank you.
And also, I think Dr. Gong, who's the chair of the radiology department, also has.
As we know, CT is valuable. Then CT is valuable and more sensitive than conventional X-ray, as we know. So it's very important in the early diagnosis of COVID-19. So in our hospital, CT is a very important step in the patient screening, including the negative. We know the negative patient.
Okay. Okay, thank you. So the next question is coming from Dr. Think. Did you have separated team for non-COVID-19 working in the emergency department? And if so, how did you corroborate these teams from Dr. Xia? No, 就是有 COVID and non-COVID team.
In my hospital, the ED, the emergency department, have a very special team for the deal with the patient who suffer from the suspect the COVID-19 or the diagnosed COVID-19 patient. But I just mentioned that my hospital is not designated hospital. So if we diagnosed the COVID-19 patient in ED, we should immediately transport to the another hospital. The post-acute hospital of Zhejiang University. But anyway, we have the special zone. The special room for the suspected case for the emergency patient. If we think this is highly suspected, we should put this patient in the special zone for both diagnosis and ask consult. I just mentioned the consultation, the expert team, special for the consultation of diagnosis and the treatment of the COVID-19. And some patient, if suffer from the very severe condition, for example, we should take the first critical care. We should send he or she to the negative pressure ward. In my emergency department, we have 2 rooms. Is with negative the pressure the system. So I think maybe I can answer your question. Okay.
So, okay, do you have any questions on those answers, please? Before we go to the next one?
Last one.
The very last one. Okay. The question is coming from Dr. Sig Paul, whose question is on clinical screening of patients suspected of COVID-19. Would you say fever is the main symptom to watch for? What is the percentage of people who present with fever in confirmed cases of COVID-19? From Dr. Gamit, he's from the Gendal Hospital. 那么我们在这个Okay, so we give question to Dr. Li, please.
Yes, of course, fever is the main symptom of the patients of COVID-19. Maybe at first, many patients have fever, but this is not just the symptoms. So maybe more than 17% patients have fevers, but now we found many patients and many cases have no any symptom, as you know. So we see at first we find many patients have fever, but now we find more and more cases have no any symptoms. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Dr. Yang. And thank you, guys. I think due to the time constraint, we have to stop the conversation today. And all the following question, well, you can refer to our website of GMCC program website, COVID-19.alibaba-inc.com, which will be shown through the Q&A bar. And the website, including resources on managing COVID-19, and also features the International Medical Expert Communication Center, where medical experts can discuss the latest experience, episode, prevention, and control. Once again, we'd like to thank you all of the guests here and all the valuable time, and hoping that it was a very meaningful and useful section for all of us. And we believe we must share our resources, knowledge to win the battle against the COVID-19, because this is a one world, one fight. Thank you again. Thank you. So any questions, please go to our website, or you can put your questions through our Q&A bar here. Our staff will help to collect all the questions here. So thank you, guys. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.